Part 15 of the Military Journals of Two Private Soldiers, 1758-1775. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by F.N.H. The Military Journals of Two Private Soldiers, 1758-1775, by Abraham Tomlinson. Part 15. The 8. Being Sunday, it rained, and we had no preaching. Nothing remarkable happened. At night there was a regular deserted, and came to our men, and there was another set out, but they were discovered, and they took one of them. The 9. About 8 o'clock there was a rifleman whipped 39 stripes for stealing, and afterwards he was drummed out of the camps. If the infernal regions had been opened, and Cain and Judas and Sam Hawkes, the writer of this journal, had been present, there could not have been a bigger uproar. The 10. I went up on the creek guard, and nothing remarkable happened there. The 11. There was a rifleman. These riflemen were from Maryland. The company had been raised by order of Congress, and placed in command of Captain Michael Cresap, who, without a shadow of justice, was made to figure unfavorably in the celebrated speech attributed to Logan, the Mingo chief. Proof is abundant that the stain upon the character of Cresap by the speech of Logan, from the pen of Jefferson, was unmerited. Captain Cresap was taken sick, and at about the time here indicated he started for home, but died at New York on the 18th of October, 1775, at the age of 33 years. His remains yet lie buried in Trinity Churchyard, a few feet from Broadway. Drummed out of the camps for threatening his officers. Also I went to Cambridge with boats. The 12. This day nothing remarkable happened, only I went to work along with the General at Mr. Parker's. At night I went upon the picket. The 13. I went a chestnutting with a number of respectable gentlemen that belonged to the army, and we had a rifle frolic, shooting at a mark for liquor, and came home about 10 o'clock. The 13. About 2 or 3 o'clock there was one of our men taken and carried to the quarter-guard for theft. Abel Wetherill by name, but it was made up, and he was taken out at night and returned to his duty. The 14. This day nothing remarkable happened. The 15. Being Sunday, I went upon fatigue down to the George Tavern, and there was a flag of truce went in, and another came out. Communications are thus had between the belligerent armies. By common consent, as a rule of war, a person approaching one army from another with a white flag is respected as a neutral, and to fire upon a flag, as the phrase is when the bearer is fired upon, is considered a great breach of faith and honour. The 16. Nothing remarkable happened. Colonel Reed's lady came down to review the regiment, and treated them. The wives of officers often visited permanent camps, and formed pleasant social parties. Mrs. Washington visited her husband at Cambridge, while he remained there. She also spent a portion of the winter with him at Valley Forge, and likewise at Morristown. Nothing more this day. The 17. I went a chestnutting up to Newtown, 7 miles north from Boston, and at night our floating batteries went up towards the cannon, and fired 13 shots, but unlucky for them, one of their 9-pounders split, and killed 1 man dead, and wounded 8 more, one of them, it is thought, mortally. The 18. I went upon the creek guard, and John Bates was launch corporal. Also in the afternoon there was 3 Boston men came out under pretence of fishing, but they made their escape to Dorchester Point. The 19. Was rainy, and nothing remarkable happened. The 20. The things that were taken at the lighthouse were vendured, and went very high. When Major Tupper destroyed the lighthouse on Nantasket Point, he carried away all the furniture and the great lamp by which it was lighted. Nothing more remarkable happened this day. At night there was a regular deserted from the enemy. The 21. I went upon the creek guard. The creek referred to is Stony Brook, northward from Roxbury Fort, and it rained all day. Nothing remarkable happened. The 22. Being Sunday, nothing remarkable this day. The 23. Nothing remarkable happened at night. I went upon the picket, and nothing happened worth a mentioning. The 24. Nothing remarkable happened this day. only we heard that the French were going to join us upon conditions that we would trade with them. As early as July 1775, Dr. Franklin had suggested the propriety of a political confederation of all the colonies, and the establishment of governmental relations with foreign powers, especially with France, which, it was well known, hated England. In November of that year, Benjamin Harrison, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Johnson, John Dickerson, and John Jay were appointed a committee to open and carry on correspondence with foreign governments, and in March following, Silas Deane was appointed a special agent of Congress to the court of France. Rumours of such intentions appear to have reached the army, according to our journalist, as early as the 24th of October, 1775. The 25. We turned out and went to the alarm post, and it was very cold, and we came home, and there was a high go of drinking brandy, and several of the company were taken not well pretty soon after. A very natural consequence. Nothing more this day. The 26. This morning early there were several ladies came down from Wrentham, and they went to Cambridge. And the rest of their acts, are they not written in Lamentations of Samuel Hawes? Finis. The 27. This day I went upon fatigue, and we got our stents done about noon. The 28. Nothing remarkable this day, only I was choose cook for our room, consisting of 12 men, and a hard game too. The 29. Being Sunday, the officers had hard work to get hands for the meeting, it was so cold. Nothing more this day. The 30. This day, nothing remarkable happened. The 31. Nothing remarkable. During the whole of October, affairs were very quiet, and no skirmish of importance occurred. The Essex Gazette of the 19th said, "Scarcely a gun has been fired for a fortnight." On the 4th, a small fleet under Captain Mowat sailed from Boston Harbor and destroyed Falmouth, now Portland, Maine. On the 15th, a committee from Congress arrived, to consult with Washington concerning the future and a reorganization of the army. November, 1775. The 1. Last night the fire ran over Samuel Hawes' hair, and that provoked him to wrath. Nothing very remarkable happened this day that I know of. The 2. There were some gentlemen and ladies came down from Wrentham, and they went to Cambridge. The 3. It was a very rainy day, and we went to Childs's, and had an old fudge. Fare you well, my friends. The 4. Nothing remarkable happened this day, only the gentry went home to Wrentham. The 5. Being the memorial 5th of November, the enemy fired from every ship in the harbour. Nothing more remarkable this day. The 6. Nothing remarkable happened this day. The 7. There was a vendue opened at this house, and there was not less than $120 worth of things vendued, and sold at private sale, and swapped. The 8. Nothing remarkable happened this day that I know of. The 9. Nothing remarkable happened this day that is worth a mentioning. On this day there was a quite severe skirmish occurred at Lechmere Point, now Cambridgeport. The 10. This day I went home upon furlough, that is, a written permission from his commanding officer to leave for a specified time. Yesterday Sergeant Yett went home. The 11. I went to Captain Whiting's, and nothing remarkable happened. The 12. Being Sunday, I went to meeting. Nothing more this day. The 13. This day the long-faced people trained at Wrentham, and Sarge Felt went upon picket, and fired several times upon the sentries. The 14. This day I came down from Wrentham, with Sarge Felt, and at night there was 3 men deserted from the floating battery. This day we had a lottery, and Sarge Foster drawed a pair of breeches. At that time leather breeches were much in vogue, because they were durable. The more costly ones, of buckskin, were worn only by officers, worth $5, and there was considerable other trading carried on at night. There was 8 men more deserted. The 16. Nothing remarkable happened. Captain Pond listed 3 or 4 men for the next campaign. Late in October, a new organization of the army took place, and enlistments for a certain term were commenced. Hitherto there had been great confusion in the matter. The army had gathered around Boston from sudden impulse, and it was continually changing. The excitement which had brought them together had in a measure subsided, and enlistments went on slowly. After a month's exertions, only 5,000 names were enrolled, and Washington, lamenting the dearth of public spirit, almost despaired. Alluding to the selfishness exhibited in the camp, he says, "Such stock-jobbing and fertility in all the low arts, to obtain advantages of one kind or another, I never saw before, and pray God I may never witness again." At night it was very cold. The 17. Very blustering, and there was a man whipped 39 lashes for stealing and getting drunk and running away, and afterwards he was drummed out of the camps. Thus he, etc. The 18. Nothing remarkable happened this day that I know of. The 19. This being Sunday, it was very pleasant, and we had preaching. Nothing more this day. The 20. This day nothing very remarkable. At night there was a regular deserted, and swam over to Dorchester, and escaped. The 21. This day nothing very remarkable. This day the picket was made easier by half, etc., etc. End of Part 15. Visit on the web printandplay.co.uk.